Have you ever stopped to really think about the world around you and asked, is any of this stuff actually pure? It sounds like a pretty simple question, right? But the answer, well, that's where things get really interesting.
I mean, think about it. Literally everything you can interact with, the device you're watching this on, the chair you're in, even the air you're breathing, it's all matter. It's all just stuff.
And we tend to think of the most basic things as being simple. You know, a deep breath of fresh air or a cool, clear glass of water. They seem totally uniform, simple, and clean.
But here's the kicker. Are they? I mean, from a scientific point of view, are they truly pure? See, in science, the word pure has a very specific meaning, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Trust me on this one. The scientific answer is probably not what you expect. By the end of this, you might just look at the world a little bit differently. So, let's dive in.
Okay, so the first thing to know is that scientists draw a huge line in the sand when it comes to matter. Basically, every single thing in the entire universe falls into one of two major categories.
On one side of that line, you have pure substances. The rule for this category is super strict. It has to be made of only one kind of particle. Every single atom or molecule is identical to the next, and its chemical makeup is completely fixed.
On the other side of the line, you have mixtures. This is pretty much what it sounds like. It's when you have two or more substances just hanging out in the same space. They're physically jumbled together, but they haven't chemically reacted or bonded with each other.
So, the easiest way to tell them apart, a pure substance plays by a fixed set of rules. Pure water, for example, always boils at 100 degrees Celsius at sea level. That's a law. But a mixture, the rules are flexible. If you make salt with water, the boiling point changes depending on how much salt you add. The composition is variable.
So let's zoom back in on that pure category for a second. Because it turns out, even within that bucket, there's another fork in the road. There are actually two different ways for something to be scientifically pure.
Yep, another split. A pure substance is either a fundamental building block called an element, or it's a more complex structure called a compound. Those are the only two options on this side of the chart.
Elements are the absolute Lego bricks of the universe. They're the simplest form of matter, and you can't break them down into anything simpler using chemical reactions. A bar of pure gold is made of nothing but gold atoms. That's as basic as it gets.
Yeah, a compound is what you get when those elements decide to chemically lock together. And the key here is that they do it in a fixed, unchangeable ratio. Water is always 2 parts hydrogen bonded to 1 part oxygen, H2O. If you change that recipe, it's not water anymore. It's something totally new.
This is a fantastic way to think about it. Elements are like the letters of the alphabet. There are only so many of them. But compounds are the words you can make with those letters. You can combine them to form millions of different words, each with unique meanings and properties.
Okay, so we've got the pure side down. Now let's hop back over to the other side of that line we drew, the world of mixtures. Because, as you're about to see, this is the world we actually live in.
Just like pure substances, mixtures also come in two main flavors. You've got homogeneous mixtures, where everything is blended so perfectly you can't see the different ingredients. And then you've got heterogeneous mixtures, where it's pretty obvious what all the different parts are.
Just look at these examples. Air and salt water look completely uniform, right? You can't see the individual bits. They're homogeneous. But then you look at oil and water, or a salad. You can totally see all the different components. That's a classic heterogeneous mixture. Pretty straightforward.
And now for the statistic that really puts it all into perspective. Get this. Over 99% of the matter on the surface of our planet exists as mixtures. Pure substances are the all-important building blocks, but they are incredibly rare to find just out and about in nature.
Which brings us full circle, right back to our original question. Now that we have all the pieces of the puzzle, we can finally figure out the final answer.
But before I just give it away, let's do a quick pop quiz. A glass of milk. It looks totally uniform, perfectly white and smooth. So, what's your gut feeling? Is it a pure substance or a mixture? I mean, your eyes are telling you it's just one single thing. By that logic, it really seems like it should be a pure substance, just like water or gold. Makes sense, right? And surprise, it's a textbook example of a homogeneous mixture. Milk is actually a super complex blend of water, proteins, fats, and sugars, all just mixed together so perfectly that our eyes can't pick out the individual parts.
So, what's the big takeaway here? The verdict is in. Scientifically speaking, almost nothing in our everyday lives is truly pure. Almost everything you interact with is a mixture. The pure substances, those elements and compounds, are the crucial building blocks, but the world we actually experience is a world of blends.
I really like this way of putting it. Our world is just this grand, magnificent mixture, but it's all built from a surprisingly small pantry of pure, essential ingredients.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If our entire world really is this complex cocktail of different things, all mixed together, doesn't that make it even more important to understand the few, pure, simple building blocks that it's all made from?